Timmy and the Talking Animals. One bright morning, Timmy wandered into the magical forest near his home. Suddenly, he heard a tiny voice calling, "Hello!" It was Squeaky, the squirrel who could talk. Timmy blinked in surprise but smiled wide. "Welcome to our forest," chirped Squeaky. Timmy felt excited to meet a talking animal and was ready for an adventure unlike any before. As Timmy and Squeaky walked deeper, they met Ollie the owl, who wore tiny glasses and spoke with a gentle voice. "Hello, Timmy. We love having visitors," Ollie said wisely. Timmy listened closely as Ollie shared stories about the forest creatures. Timmy felt happy and curious, eager to learn and explore with his new friends. Suddenly, a soft rustling sound caught their attention. Out hopped Binky the bunny, full of energy and laughter. "Let's play hide and seek," Binky giggled. Timmy laughed and nodded eagerly. The friends dashed around trees and bushes, hiding and finding each other with joy. The forest echoed with their happy chatter and giggles. After playing, the friends discovered a shiny, colorful stone sparkling under a bush. "What is this?" Timmy asked. Ollie explained it was a magical stone that glows when friends work together. Holding hands with his new animal pals, Timmy felt a warm glow fill the forest. They all realized that kindness and friendship create true magic. As the sun began to set, Timmy waved goodbye to his talking animal friends. "Come back soon," they called. Timmy smiled, knowing he had found a special place where magic and friendship live forever. He skipped home, eager to tell his family about the amazing day in the magical forest. The Midnight Shipwreck Mystery. One quiet night, when the moon was big and bright, little Milo the mouse woke up from his cozy nest. Outside, the waves whispered secrets and the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds. Curious Milo grabbed his little lantern and tiptoed to the sandy shore. Suddenly, beneath the shimmering water, he spotted something glowing, a magical shipwreck sparkling in the moonlight. Milo's eyes grew wide with wonder. What could it be? He decided to find out. As Milo peered closer, a friendly pink starfish named Glimmer popped out from behind a rock. "Hello, Milo. The Midnight Shipwreck is full of sparkling treasures," she said with a smile. Just then, Krabby the cheerful red crab scuttled by, waving his claws. "Let's explore together," he cheered. The three new friends decided to dive into a magical adventure, curious about the glowing treasures hidden inside the shipwreck. They held onto each other tightly and splashed into the sparkling water. Inside the shipwreck, the friends discovered sparkling shells, shiny pearls, and glittering jewels that twinkled like stars. "Wow!" gasped Milo. But the greatest treasure was a glowing, magical pearl that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. Suddenly, the pearl floated up and shone bright, lighting up the whole shipwreck like a cozy lantern. The friends laughed and danced in the warm glow, feeling happy and brave. The Midnight Shipwreck had shared its secret, friendship and magic sparkle brightest of all. When it was time to return home, Milo, Glimmer, and Krabby waved goodbye to the sparkling shipwreck as it slowly dimmed beneath the waves. "We'll come back soon," promised Milo. The moon smiled down as the friends walked back along the shore, their hearts full of magic and wonder. Milo snuggled into his cozy nest, dreaming of new adventures. And from that night on, whenever the moon was big and bright, the midnight shipwreck sparkled just for them, whispering secrets of friendship and magic. The superhero squad of Sunnyville. In the sunny town of Sunnyville, 4 friends loved to play and help others. There was Leela, who could make flowers bloom with a gentle touch; Max, who could run faster than the wind; Zoe, who could light up the darkest places with her bright smile; and Ben, who could hear the tiniest sounds from far away. Together, they called themselves the Superhero Squad, always ready for fun and kindness. One morning, as the Superhero Squad played near the big oak tree, they heard a tiny cry. Ben, with his super hearing, said, "Someone needs help." They followed the sound and found Mr. Bumblebee's little bee stuck in a spider's web. Leela gently touched the web, and flowers grew around it, making the sticky threads disappear. The little bee buzzed happily and flew free. The squad cheered, feeling proud to help. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sky, and the town's lights went out. Zoe's smile shone brightly, lighting up the street like a glowing lantern. Max ran quickly to check the power station, where he found a big branch blocking the wires. Using his speed, he moved the branch away, and the lights twinkled back on. Everyone in Sunnyville clapped and cheered for the Superhero Squad. As the sun came out again, the Superhero Squad gathered to celebrate. They learned that when friends work together with their special gifts and kindness, they can make any day bright and happy. Sunnyville was the happiest town ever, all thanks to the brave and caring Superhero Squad. And every day, they looked forward to new adventures and helping anyone in need. The School of Friendship. In the heart of a bright, cheerful forest stood the magical School of Friendship. Here, young animals came every day to learn the most important magic of all: how to be a good friend. Bunny, squirrel, bird, and turtle were the best friends in the whole school. They loved to play games, share stories, and help one another discover the joy of kindness. Today, their teacher, Wise Owl, was ready to teach them a brand new friendship lesson. Wise Owl began, "Friendship is like a garden. It needs care, patience, and love to grow big and strong." The friends looked around and saw beautiful flowers blooming all around the school. Bunny picked a bright red flower and gave it to Squirrel. Squirrel smiled and shared his acorns with Bird. Bird sang a happy song while Turtle slowly clapped his hands. They all felt warm inside because sharing made their hearts shine brighter. Suddenly, a little cloud covered the sun, and the friends felt a tiny bit sad. Wise Owl said, "When friends feel sad, it's important to listen and be kind." So, Bunny gave Turtle a gentle hug, Squirrel held Bird's wing, and Bird whispered a happy story. Slowly, the sun peeked out again, and the friends giggled and danced. They learned that friendship helps us stay happy even on cloudy days. At the end of the day, Wise Owl smiled and said, "You all have learned the magic of friendship, sharing, listening, and caring. Remember, your friendship garden will always bloom if you keep watering it with love." The friends held hands and promised to be the best friends forever. Together, they laughed and played, knowing their hearts were full of the happiest magic in the world. the curious eye of Emily. Emily was no ordinary little girl. She had a very special eye, her curious eye, that could see magical things hidden from everyone else. One bright morning, Emily looked around her garden and noticed something sparkling behind the tall sunflowers. Her curious eye twinkled as she tiptoed closer, eager to discover what secret was waiting for her today. As Emily pushed aside the sunflower leaves, she found a secret garden glowing with colors she had never seen before. The flowers here had friendly faces and whispered cheerful greetings. A group of butterflies danced around, their wings shimmering like tiny rainbows. Emily smiled with wonder, her curious eye sparkling brighter than ever. Suddenly, a shy white rabbit peeked out from behind a violet flower. He looked nervous and a little lost. Emily knelt down gently and asked, "Would you like to play with me?" The rabbit nodded, and together they explored the magical garden, discovering sparkling treasure hidden beneath the leaves that made the whole garden glow with happiness. The Little Learner of Lily and Leo. One sunny morning, Lily and Leo were playing in their backyard when a tiny sparkle caught their eyes. It was the Little Learner, a magical creature no bigger than a ladybug, glowing softly with golden light. The Little Learner smiled and whispered, "Would you like to discover something wonderful with me?" Excited and curious, Lily and Leo nodded eagerly, ready for an adventure full of surprises and fun. The Little Learner led them to a giant sunflower that reached the sky. "Look closely," it said. Lily and Leo watched as tiny bees buzzed happily, collecting pollen and dancing from flower to flower. The Little Learner explained how bees help flowers grow, making the garden bright and colorful. Lily clapped her hands, and Leo giggled, amazed at how busy and important the little bees were. Next, the Little Learner showed them a sparkling puddle where tiny water droplets danced and shimmered like stars. "These droplets help plants drink and grow," it whispered. Lily gently touched the water, and Leo splashed his hands, laughing as the droplets twinkled in the sun. They felt happy to learn how even the smallest drops of water were magical helpers in the garden. As the sun began to set, the Little Learner gathered tiny fireflies that lit up the garden like twinkling stars. "See how they glow to guide others at night," it said. Lily and Leo watched the fireflies dance around them, their lights flickering softly. They felt the magic of the garden filling the air, and their hearts were full of wonder and joy, grateful for their new little friend and the day's adventures. Before saying goodbye, the Little Learner whispered, "Remember, every little thing around you is full of magic and learning. Just keep your eyes open and your heart curious." Lily and Leo waved happily as their tiny friend disappeared in a sparkling trail, promising many more adventures to come. Their day was filled with smiles, magic, and the joy of being little learners in a big, wonderful world. Oliver's Incredible Space Voyage. One sunny morning, Oliver found a sparkling box in his backyard. Inside, he discovered pieces to build a magical rocket ship. With a big smile, he put the pieces together, and suddenly the rocket began to glow. Oliver climbed inside, pushed the shiny red button, and with a gentle whoosh, the rocket lifted off into the bright blue sky, zooming toward the twinkling stars above. As Oliver soared higher, he waved hello to sparkling stars that twinkled like diamonds. The stars smiled back and danced around his rocket, lighting up the dark space with their friendly glow. Oliver giggled with delight, feeling surrounded by new friends who twirled and shimmered all around him like tiny lanterns in the night. Next, Oliver's rocket floated gently to a big, colorful planet covered in soft, bouncy clouds. The planet smiled and invited him to bounce and play. Oliver jumped up and down, laughing as the clouds gently bounced him higher and higher. He met the planet's happy friends, round, bright planets in red, green, and blue, who all waved and cheered for him to keep exploring the sky. Suddenly, a trail of sparkling comets zoomed past Oliver's rocket, leaving glowing tails of rainbow colors. Oliver reached out and waved, and the comets twirled around him in a joyful dance. The sky was alive with colors and laughter as the comets painted bright streaks across the dark blue space, making Oliver's adventure even more magical. As the adventure came to an end, Oliver's rocket gently floated back toward Earth. He looked out the window, waving goodbye to his new starry friends, happy planets, and colorful comets. With a soft landing in his backyard, Oliver stepped out, his heart full of wonder and joy. He knew he could visit his incredible space friends anytime in his dreams. What an amazing voyage it had been. The Happy Gannet's Dive. Gilly the Gannet loved to fly high over the sparkling sea. Every day, he would spread his wide wings and soar up into the bright blue sky. When he felt the wind under his wings, he knew it was time for a big, happy dive. With a joyful chirp, Gilly tucked his wings and zipped down toward the shimmering water below. Splash! The sea welcomed him with a cool, bubbly hug. As Gilly swam through the sparkling waves, something shiny caught his eye. It was a little silver fish, glittering like a tiny star. The fish blinked its big, curious eyes and swam close to Gilly. "Hello," said Gilly with a friendly chirp. "Would you like to dive with me?" The shiny fish twirled happily and nodded, ready for an adventure. Just then, a group of playful dolphins jumped out of the water, splashing and spinning with joy. A colorful crab waved its claws from a nearby rock, and a shy starfish peeked out from under the seaweed. Gilly smiled wide and said, "Let's all dive together." With a whoosh and a splash, they all joined in, swirling and twirling through the water like a happy underwater dance. After their big, happy dive, Gilly and his new friends floated on the shining waves, smiling with their hearts full of fun. "The sea is so beautiful when shared with friends," said Gilly. The sun smiled down warmly as the ocean sparkled all around. And from that day on, every dive was the happiest dive, because adventures are best when you share them with those you care about. The Chant of Charlie and Chloe. In a cozy little forest, there lived two best friends named Charlie and Chloe. Charlie was a tiny chipmunk who loved to hop and play, and Chloe was a bright bluebird who sang the sweetest songs. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped and the flowers stretched toward the sky, Charlie and Chloe found a shiny, sparkling pebble on the forest floor. It shimmered with colors like a rainbow, and when they held it together, they heard a soft whisper, "Sing the chant, and magic will dance." Excited, Charlie and Chloe decided to try the chant. They held paws and wings and sang, "Chant, chant, dance and play, bring the forest joy today." As their voices blended, the flowers around them began to bloom brighter, and the leaves on the trees started to wiggle happily. Even the butterflies fluttered in a joyful dance. The forest seemed to wake up in a magical way, all because of their special chant. Soon, all the forest animals joined in. The rabbits thumped their feet, the squirrels clapped their paws, and the birds chirped along with Charlie and Chloe's chant. The magic grew stronger, and the whole forest felt like it was smiling. Charlie and Chloe giggled, feeling happy that their song could make so many friends dance and smile. They learned that when friends share their happiness, the world around them can sparkle with magic too. Rachel's Radiant Rabbit. One evening, as the sun was saying goodbye and painting the sky with pink and orange, Rachel spotted a tiny rabbit glowing softly near the garden flowers. The rabbit's fur shimmered like moonlight, and its eyes twinkled with kindness. Rachel gently reached out, and the radiant rabbit hopped onto her hand, sparkling even brighter. She couldn't believe her eyes, a glowing rabbit. Together, they decided to explore the magical garden as night fell. As night wrapped the garden in a cozy blanket, the radiant rabbit led Rachel to meet tiny fireflies that twinkled like stars close to the ground. They danced all around, lighting up the dark with their sparkly glow. Rachel clapped her hands in delight while the rabbit hopped happily, their lights joining in a merry glow play. The garden felt alive with magic, and Rachel's heart filled with joy and wonder. Then, the radiant rabbit twitched its nose and led Rachel to a circle of flowers that began to sway and spin gently, as if dancing to a silent song. Each petal shimmered with colors that sparkled like jewels under the moonlight. Rachel laughed softly, feeling the rhythm of the magical garden around her. The glowing rabbit sat beside her, sharing in the fun, their lights twinkling in harmony with the dancing blooms. Finally, as the night sky shimmered with stars, the radiant rabbit invited Rachel to join a moonbeam parade. Silvery beams of light floated down, carrying tiny glowing creatures and shimmering ribbons. Rachel held the rabbit close as they floated gently on a moonbeam, sailing above the garden with sparkles all around. It was a magical journey filled with laughter, light, and dreams that sparkled like the stars. When the adventure ended, Rachel and her radiant rabbit gently landed back in the garden as dawn was peaking. Rachel hugged her new glowing friend tightly, feeling happy and full of magic in her heart. She knew that even when the sun rose, the magic of kindness and imagination could always shine bright, just like her radiant rabbit. And every night, she looked forward to their next sparkling adventure together. The Little Car of Lily and Leo. One sunny morning, Lily and Leo were playing in the park when they found a tiny, shiny little car under a big oak tree. It was covered in sparkling colors like a rainbow. "Look, Leo," said Lily, "this little car looks magical." As they touched the car, it suddenly grew bigger, just the right size for them to hop inside. They giggled with excitement, ready to see where their new magical car could take them. Lily grabbed the steering wheel and Leo buckled up beside her. Suddenly, the little car zoomed forward, faster and faster, as if it had a happy heart racing with joy. They whooshed past flowers and trees, waving at a friendly squirrel who seemed amazed by their speedy adventure. "Whee!" laughed Leo, holding on tight. The park looked like a magical racetrack, and their little car was the fastest in the whole world. After their thrilling ride, the car gently slowed down near a sparkling pond. Lily and Leo stepped out, feeling happy and full of wonder. "This little car is the best friend we could ever have," said Lily, smiling. They promised to take the little car on many more adventures, discovering new places and making every day magical. As the sun began to set, the car shrank back to its tiny size, ready to rest until their next joyful ride together. The Little Peacock's Plume. In a bright, sunny jungle lived a little peacock named Pavo. Unlike his parents, whose splendid plumes sparkled with every color of the rainbow, Pavo's feathers were small and plain. Every day, he wished his feathers could shine and dance in the sunlight just like theirs. He dreamed of the day he might have a beautiful plume to show all his friends. One morning, while exploring the jungle floor, Pavo spotted something glimmering under a big green leaf. Curious, he pecked it gently and found a feather unlike any he had ever seen. It shimmered in blue, green, and gold, sparkling as the sunlight danced on it. Pavo's eyes grew wide with wonder and excitement. Pavo showed the feather to his friends, the fluffy white rabbit, the cheerful red and yellow parrot, and the gentle brown deer. They all admired the shiny plume and told Pavo how special it was. "You don't need a big plume to be special," said the parrot. "Your kindness and joy make you shine bright," said the rabbit. From that day on, Pavo didn't worry about his small feathers. Instead, he held the colorful feather proudly, sharing its beauty and joy with everyone he met. His friends loved to see Pavo's happy dance, and soon, the little peacock's plume became a symbol of friendship and happiness throughout the jungle. The Rhythm of Friendship. In the heart of a bright, green forest lived a shy little rabbit named Rumi. Rumi loved to hop softly through the trees, listening carefully to the sounds around. One sunny morning, Rumi heard a gentle tapping sound and followed it to find a cheerful bluebird tapping its wings to a happy tune. Curious, Rumi sat quietly and began to tap a soft rhythm with tiny paws on a nearby stone. The bluebird chirped happily, inviting Rumi to join the music. As Rumi and the bluebird played, a fluffy squirrel scampered down a tree with a little drum. The squirrel smiled and joined the rhythm, tapping the drum with tiny paws. Rumi's eyes sparkled with excitement as the sounds mixed together, a happy beat that made the forest feel alive. Soon, a green frog hopped over, jingling a shiny tambourine, adding a cheerful jingle to the growing song. Rumi felt the joy of sharing music with new friends. Together, Rumi and the friends made a wonderful rhythm that echoed through the forest. Each sound was special: Rumi's soft taps, the bluebird's chirps, the squirrel's drum beats, and the frog's jingles. They laughed and danced, feeling the magic that happens when everyone's different beats come together. From that day on, Rumi knew the secret. Friendship is like a beautiful song, made brighter when everyone shares their own rhythm. The rhyming romp of Rachel and Ryan. Rachel and Ryan set off to play on a bright and sunny day. "Let's find fun in every rhyme," said Rachel. "One word leads to the next each time." They skipped along the winding street, tapping their feet to a rhyming beat. "Look at the cat, so fluffy and fat," giggled Ryan, patting its soft, white hat. Bumblebee buzzed by with a cheerful hum. "Join our rhyme," said Rachel. "Here it comes." Next, they found a ball, red, yellow, and blue, bouncing it high as they shouted. "Woohoo!" Ryan rhymed. "Bounce and pounce, let's play and announce." Rachel laughed. "Catch it quick, pick it up quick." They tossed and caught with giggles and cheer, their rhymes echoing far and near. A rainbow kite soared up above, dancing and twirling like a dove. "Fly high, sky bright, a colorful kite," they rhymed with delight. As the sun began to dip and dip, the friends slowed down their rhyming trip. "What a day," said Ryan with a grin. "Rhyming's the best way to spin and win." Rachel nodded, eyes shining bright. "Words can make the world a delight." They waved goodbye to the buzzing bee, the fluffy cat, and the tall green tree. Hand in hand, they skipped back home, dreaming of rhymes wherever they'd roam. The Secret of the Rainbow Bridge. One sunny morning, little Mia was playing near her garden when she suddenly saw something amazing: a bright, colorful bridge made entirely of shimmering rainbows stretching across the sky. It sparkled with every color she could imagine, glowing softly like a magical light. Mia's eyes grew wide with wonder, and she wondered where the bridge could lead. She tiptoed closer, feeling excitement bubble inside her heart. Could this be a secret bridge to a magical land? She whispered with a smile. As Mia stepped onto the rainbow bridge, tiny sparkling fish swam playfully beneath her feet in a clear, twinkling stream. Suddenly, a fluffy white bunny hopped up beside her and gave a gentle nod, as if inviting her to continue. Mia giggled happily, feeling the bridge gently sway with every step. The colors beneath her toes felt warm and soft, like walking on clouds made of sunshine and joy. "Come on, bunny. Let's see what wonderful things are waiting for us," she said cheerfully. Further along the bridge, Mia met friendly, fluffy clouds that floated nearby, smiling warmly at her. They whispered a secret. The magic of this bridge comes from laughter and kindness. Mia laughed with delight and clapped her hands. Suddenly, the colors of the bridge danced and sparkled even brighter. She realized that the happiest hearts could make the rainbow bridge shine the most. Mia felt her heart glow with warmth as she skipped along, sharing smiles with every cloud and creature she met. At the end of the rainbow bridge, Mia discovered a magical land filled with colorful flowers that sang gentle songs, friendly animals that danced in the sunshine, and sparkling streams that giggled as they flowed. She felt like she had stepped into a dream where everything was happy and bright. Mia knew the secret of the Rainbow Bridge now, that it was a place where love, laughter, and kindness made all things shine. She promised to visit often and keep sharing her joyful heart with the magical world. The big game of Benny and Bella. One sunny morning, Benny the bunny hopped excitedly to meet his best friend Bella the bear. They wanted to play the biggest, most fun game the forest had ever seen. Benny brought a shiny red wooden ball, and Bella wore her happiest smile. Together, they decided to create a new game full of running, jumping, and laughter. The forest was their playground, and every tree and flower seemed to cheer them on as they began their big adventure. Benny bounced the ball high into the air, and Bella caught it with her big paws. They took turns tossing, catching, and rolling the ball between them. Sometimes, the ball would bounce off a tree, and they would giggle and chase after it. Their game was full of surprises and fun. The birds sang along, and even the little squirrels stopped to watch their playful friendship blossom under the golden sun. As the game went on, Benny and Bella invented new rules. Sometimes, they had to hop on one foot or spin around before passing the ball. Sometimes, they pretended the ball was a magical glowing orb that could grant wishes. Their laughter echoed through the forest, making the flowers sway happily. The best part was playing together, sharing smiles and discovering how much fun teamwork could be. When the sun started to set, painting the sky with orange and pink, Benny and Bella sat down under a big oak tree, tired but happy. They talked about all their fun ideas and promised to play the big game again tomorrow. The forest whispered good night, and the friends smiled, knowing that every day brought new adventures when you play with your best friend. The harvest of autumn. One crisp autumn morning, Benny the bunny hopped out of his cozy burrow, his little red scarf fluttering in the gentle breeze. The trees were dressed in brilliant gold, orange, and red leaves that danced as they fell softly to the ground. Benny was excited because today was the day of the big harvest festival. He wanted to gather the yummiest pumpkins and the juiciest apples to share with his friends. Along the path, Benny met Sally the squirrel, who was busily collecting acorns in her tiny basket. "Hello, Benny. Let's find the best harvest treasures together," she chirped. They giggled and ran toward the pumpkin patch, where big orange pumpkins sat like friendly giants under the golden sun. Benny tried to lift a pumpkin, but it was very heavy. Sally quickly helped him push it, and together they rolled it toward the village. Next, they found Felix the fox near the apple orchard. Felix was picking shiny red apples from a low branch. "Come help me," he said with a friendly smile. Benny and Sally reached up and picked apples too, filling their baskets until they were full. Suddenly, a gentle breeze blew leaves all around them, swirling and twirling like a happy autumn dance. The friends laughed and twirled with the leaves, feeling cozy and joyful together. As the sun began to set, the friends carried their harvest back to the village clearing. The sky turned soft pink and orange, and the air smelled sweet and fresh. They laid out their pumpkins, apples, and acorns in a big, happy pile. All the animals from the village gathered around, sharing stories and nibbling on tasty treats. Benny smiled, feeling warm inside. The harvest was not just about food. It was about friendship, sharing, and the magic of autumn all around them. The Yellow Journey of Yvette and Yves. One sunny morning in the heart of the yellow forest, Yvette and Yves, two tiny yellow birds, woke up feeling extra sparkly and curious. Today was the day they would begin their yellow journey. With a flap of their bright wings, they soared above the golden sunflowers that smiled up at them, ready to explore the sparkling streams and glowing meadows. Every leaf and petal shimmered like sunshine, and the air buzzed softly with the songs of happy bees. Yvette chirped, "Let's find the magical yellow treasure hidden somewhere in the forest." Yves twirled in the air, excited to start the adventure. As they flew deeper into the forest, Yvette spotted a sparkling yellow stream winding gently through the trees. They fluttered down to peek into the clear, golden water and saw tiny yellow fish swimming in swirls. Yves dipped his wing to splash playfully, and the water sparkled like tiny stars. Suddenly, a friendly yellow squirrel scampered down from a tree, holding a shiny yellow acorn. "Hello," it chirped. "Would you like to follow me to the sunflower meadow? It's where the biggest, brightest sunflowers grow." Yvette and Yves nodded eagerly, ready for the next part of their journey. The sunflower meadow was a sea of bright, smiling sunflowers swaying gently in the breeze. Yvette and Yves hopped from flower to flower, their feathers glowing softly in the warm light. Butterflies with golden wings fluttered all around, and a yellow rabbit peeked shyly from behind a petal. Suddenly, Yves spotted a golden key hidden beneath a sunflower leaf. "This must be the magical treasure," he chirped excitedly. Yvette fluttered beside him, their eyes sparkling with joy. Together, they wondered what the key might unlock in their sunny, yellow world. The Talking Tree in Whispering Woods. One bright morning in Whispering Woods, Bella the bunny hopped happily along a soft, mossy path. She loved exploring the forest, smelling the flowers, and listening to the birds sing sweet songs. Suddenly, Bella heard a gentle voice say, "Hello there, little one." Surprised, she looked around but saw only tall trees and fluttering butterflies. Then, she noticed a big tree with twinkling eyes and a friendly smile right in front of her. It was the Talking Tree, who loved to share stories and secrets of the forest with all who would listen. The Talking Tree told Bella about the magic hidden in every leaf and the whispers of the wind that carried stories from far away. Bella's eyes grew wide with excitement as she listened carefully. "Would you like to see the secret glade where the fireflies dance at night?" asked the tree kindly. Bella nodded eagerly, and together they set off deeper into the woods. Along the way, Bella saw sparkling streams, giggling squirrels, and flowers that seemed to wave hello. The forest was alive with magic, and Bella felt happy to be part of it all. As the sun began to set, the secret glade appeared, glowing softly with hundreds of tiny fireflies twinkling like stars. Bella clapped her paws with joy, and the Talking Tree hummed a happy tune. "Every creature in Whispering Woods has a special magic," the tree said kindly. "And you, Bella, have the magic of curiosity and kindness." Bella smiled wide, feeling warm inside. She knew she would always remember this magical day and the special friend she found in the talking tree. Together, they watched the fireflies dance until the stars twinkled above them, whispering sweet dreams to all the forest friends. The Lost City Beneath the Desert. Once upon a time, in a bright, sunny desert, little Zara and her magical camel, Nubai, were playing near the golden sand dunes. Zara loved adventures, and today, Nubai's soft hooves suddenly stopped at a strange, tiny sparkle shining beneath the sand. Curious, Zara dug gently with her hands, and to her surprise, a little glowing door appeared, nestled in the warm sand. What could be behind the door? With a big smile, Zara held Nubai's reins tight, ready to find out. Zara opened the magical door and saw a sparkling staircase leading down, made of colorful stones that shimmered like rainbows. Together, Zara and Nubai tiptoed down the stairs, each step lighting up with twinkling lights. At the bottom, they gasped with joy. A whole lost city lay beneath the desert, filled with bright buildings made of glowing crystals and streets paved with shining jewels. Friendly little glowing creatures peeked out, waving hello to the new visitors. Zara and Nubai wandered through the sparkling streets, meeting playful glowing lizards and colorful birds singing sweet songs. They found a treasure chest, old but shining, filled with twinkling jewels and golden coins. Zara laughed as she held up a shiny gem that sparkled like the sun. Nubai nuzzled her gently, happy to share this wonderful secret. As the sun began to set above the desert, Zara knew she had found a special place where magic and friendship lived forever beneath the golden sands. The Little Train of Timmy and Tina. One sunny morning, Timmy and Tina climbed aboard their little train, ready for an exciting adventure. The train's wheels sparkled as it began to chug-chug along the rainbow-colored tracks. Timmy waved at the hopping bunnies, and Tina smiled as the singing birds fluttered above. The air was filled with laughter and the promise of new friends and magical places just ahead. Together, they felt ready to explore the wonders waiting around every bend. As the little train chugged into a sparkling forest, Timmy spotted a waving squirrel perched on a glittering tree branch. Tina giggled and waved back, and the squirrel happily hopped down to join their journey. The trees shimmered with sparkling leaves that twinkled like stars, making the whole forest feel like a magical playground. The train's whistle sang a happy tune, and everyone felt the joy of friendship growing with every chug and puff. Suddenly, the train approached a hill covered in rainbow-colored flowers that swayed gently in the breeze. Timmy and Tina leaned out the windows, breathing in the sweet, flowery scent. The friendly animals danced along the tracks, and the little train sang its cheerful whistle song. As they reached the top of the hill, the sun painted the sky with golden light, making everything sparkle like a treasure chest full of happiness. At the end of the journey, the little train slowed down near a sparkling lake where rainbow fish jumped and splashed playfully. Timmy and Tina stepped off with their new animal friends, feeling happy and full of stories to share. They knew their little train could take them anywhere their imagination dreamed. With hearts as bright as the shining sun, they promised to explore even more magical places together soon. The Enchanted Castle Mystery. One sunny morning, Lily the bunny and Max the squirrel were playing near the big, sparkling enchanted castle. They had heard whispers that the castle held a secret, and today they decided to find out what it was. With excitement twinkling in their eyes, they hopped and scurried through the soft green grass, ready for an adventure full of magic and surprises. As they reached the castle gate, they noticed a tiny golden key sparkling on the ground. "Look, Max," said Lily. "Maybe this key opens a secret door." Max twitched his nose and said, "Let's find out." Together, they searched the castle walls, their little hearts beating with excitement. Suddenly, Max found a small door covered in ivy, just the right size for them to squeeze through. Inside the secret door, they found a magical room filled with sparkling stars floating in the air and a treasure chest glowing softly in the corner. Lily and Max opened the chest carefully, and inside they found not jewels but a glowing scroll. The scroll had a shimmering message that said, "True friendship is the greatest treasure of all." Both friends smiled and hugged, feeling the magic of their special bond. The Happy Hippo's Splashy Day. One bright morning, Happy Hippo woke up feeling extra smiley. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the river sparkled just for her. "Today is the perfect day for a splashy adventure," she said with a big yawn and a happy wiggle. She waddled down to the riverbank, ready to make the biggest, splashiest waves ever. Happy Hippo called out to her friends, "Come join me for a splashy day." First came Friendly Frog, hopping with joy, then Curious Crocodile, who smiled gently as he slid into the water. Playful Parrot swooped down, flapping her bright wings and chirping happily. Together, they splashed and played, making water dance and sparkle all around. Suddenly, as they laughed and splashed, a magical rainbow appeared over the river. It shimmered with all the colors, making the water glow and the flowers smile. "Wow!" cheered Happy Hippo. "This is the splashiest day ever." They all joined paws, wings, and fins, splashing happily under the glowing rainbow, feeling the joy of friendship and fun. As the sun began to set, Happy Hippo and her friends rested on the soft riverbank, tired but happy. "Today was perfect," said Happy Hippo with a warm hug for each friend. "Every splash was a smile, and every smile made my heart happy." With the stars twinkling above, they dreamed of more splashy days to come. The Lost Puppy in Moonlight. One shiny night, Luna, the little fluffy puppy with big curious eyes, woke up to a glowing full moon. The moonlight made the garden sparkle like a fairy tale. Luna felt excited and decided to explore the magical night outside her cozy home. She tiptoed past the colorful flowers and followed a soft silver path that glowed just for her. The moon smiled down, lighting the way as Luna's tiny paws patted softly on the cool grass. As Luna wandered deeper, twinkling stars blinked cheerfully above, guiding her steps. Suddenly, she heard a soft hoot nearby. It was a friendly owl with big round eyes perched on a tree branch. "Hello, Luna," the owl whispered. "The moonlight can show you wonders, but it's easy to get lost. Let me help you find your way." Grateful, Luna wagged her tail happily and followed the wise owl's gentle flutter through the peaceful forest. Further along the moonlit path, Luna met a gentle deer with shining spots that glowed like tiny lanterns. The deer smiled warmly and said, "I know a secret way back to your home, through the shimmering meadow." Luna felt brave and followed the deer through the sparkling grass that glistened like diamonds. The night felt magical, and Luna's heart was full of joy as the moonlight danced on her fur. At last, through the shimmering meadow, Luna caught sight of her cozy house with warm, glowing windows. The moon smiled brightly, lighting Luna's way home. She wagged her tail excitedly and ran across the garden, under the twinkling stars. Luna learned that even when the night seems big and mysterious, kind friends and the gentle moonlight will always help you find your way back to where you belong. The Swimming Squad of Sally and Sam. One sunny morning, Sally and Sam put on their colorful swim caps and goggles. They were ready for a big day at the sparkling lake. As they stepped closer to the water, they heard cheerful splashes and friendly giggles. Their animal friends, Ducky the little yellow duckling, Froggy the green frog, and Turtle with his shiny shell, were waiting to join the swimming squad. Everyone was excited to learn and play together in the water. Sally dipped her toes in the cool water and smiled. "Let's all swim together," she said. Sam nodded and held out his hand to Turtle. Slowly but surely, Turtle paddled into the water while Ducky flapped his wings excitedly. Froggy jumped high and splashed down with a big splash. Everyone laughed and cheered. They practiced blowing bubbles underwater and kicking their legs like little fish. Splash, splash. It was so much fun being part of the swimming squad. Suddenly, Sally had an idea. "Let's play the bubble race," she exclaimed. The friends lined up at the edge of the lake, ready to swim to the big rock across the water. "On your marks, get set, go," shouted Sam. Everyone kicked and paddled with all their might. Froggy leapt ahead, Ducky flapped fast, Turtle took steady strokes, and Sally and Sam cheered each other on. When they reached the rock, they all laughed and hugged. Being part of the swimming squad was the best adventure ever. Magic Forest of Friendly Fairies. One sunny morning, Bella the bunny hopped through the meadow when she noticed a shimmering path glowing softly beneath the trees. Curious and excited, Bella decided to follow the sparkling trail, wondering where it would lead. As she hopped along, twinkling lights danced around her, and the air smelled sweet like honey and flowers. The magic forest was waking up, ready to share its secrets with a new friend. Soon, Bella met the friendly fairies, tiny glowing creatures with wings like petals of a rainbow. They smiled warmly and waved their tiny hands, sprinkling sparkling fairy dust that made Bella giggle. The fairies invited Bella to explore the magic forest together. They showed her giant rainbow-colored flowers that swayed gently, sparkling streams that sang soft songs, and glowing mushrooms that lit up the forest floor like little lanterns. As they walked, Bella and the fairies played games of hide-and-seek, chasing sparkling butterflies and listening to the forest's gentle whispers. Bella learned that the magic forest was full of kindness and friendship, where every creature helped one another. When the sun began to set, the fairies created a glowing circle of light, and Bella felt warm and happy inside. She knew this magical place would always be her special secret, full of love and new friends. The secret door in Grandpa's attic. One sunny afternoon, Lily went to visit Grandpa's house. She loved exploring his big, old attic full of dusty boxes, colorful hats, and twinkling lights from tiny fairy lamps. As she tiptoed around, her eyes caught something unusual: a small wooden door hidden behind a big stack of books. It wasn't like any door she had seen before. It shimmered faintly and seemed to hum softly, like it was waiting just for her. Grandpa smiled when Lily showed him the secret door. "Ah, that's a magical door," he said softly. "It opens only when someone with a brave heart and a big imagination is near." With a twinkle in his eye, Grandpa helped Lily turn the old brass knob. Suddenly, the door creaked open, revealing a sparkling tunnel filled with glowing mushrooms and fluttering, colorful leaves that danced in the air. Lily took a deep breath and stepped inside, feeling a tingle of excitement in her toes. Inside the magical world, Lily met a cheerful squirrel who chattered happily and a wise old owl who blinked kindly from a shimmering tree branch. The animals invited her to join their game of hide-and-seek among the glowing flowers and twinkling stars. Lily laughed and ran, her heart full of joy as she discovered new friends and magical wonders. Grandpa watched nearby, smiling, happy to see Lily's imagination soar in this special secret place. After a wonderful adventure, it was time to say goodbye to the magical world. Lily hugged her new animal friends and promised to visit again soon. With Grandpa by her side, she walked back through the shimmering tunnel and gently closed the secret door. Though the door was now quiet, Lily's heart was buzzing with happiness and wonder. She knew that whenever she wanted, the secret door would open again, leading her to more magical adventures and the warm love of Grandpa's attic. The brave little roosters crow. Early every morning on the colorful farm, all the animals woke up with the sun. But Ruddy, the little rooster with bright red and orange feathers, felt shy. He wanted to crow like the big roosters, but his voice was small and soft. "What if no one hears me?" he wondered, watching the sun rise slowly over the green fields. One morning, dark clouds covered the bright sun, and the farm stayed sleepy and still. The big roosters were all silent, hiding under the trees. Without the sun's warm light, the animals didn't know it was time to rise. Ruddy felt a little flutter in his chest. "Maybe I can help," he thought. Taking a deep breath, Ruddy puffed out his tiny chest and let out the bravest crow he ever could. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" His voice was small but clear, and it echoed across the farm. Slowly, the animals stirred, The hens clucked awake, and Farmer Joe smiled, tipping his hat. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, shining warmly again. From that day on, Ruddy knew that even the smallest voice could be brave and important. Every morning, he crowed with confidence, helping the farm wake up with a happy heart. And all the animals cheered, because the brave little rooster's crow was the sweetest sound in the whole wide farm. The little quail's chirp. In a sunny, green meadow, there lived a little quail named Quincy. Quincy was very small and had soft, fluffy feathers that made him look like a tiny ball of fluff. But there was one thing that made Quincy a little different. He was very shy and hardly ever chirped. The other animals played and sang all day, and Quincy wished he could join in, but he was too quiet to make a sound that others could hear. One bright morning, Quincy woke up feeling very brave. He decided it was time to find his own special chirp. He took a deep breath and gave a tiny little chirp. It was so soft that only the nearby flowers seemed to hear it. Quincy smiled, feeling proud that he tried. Encouraged by his little chirp, he chirped a bit louder, and this time, a friendly butterfly fluttered closer, landing gently on a flower near him. Quincy chirped and chirped, each time a little louder and happier. Soon, the rabbits stopped hopping and the birds paused their songs to listen. "Look," said a bright bluebird, "Quincy's chirp is the sweetest sound we've ever heard." Quincy's heart felt warm and full of joy. Even though he was small and shy, his chirp was special, and it brought all the meadow friends together like never before. From that day on, Quincy chirped every morning, filling the meadow with his happy little song. The animals loved to hear his chirp and would gather around to sing and play with him. Quincy learned that even the smallest voice could make a big difference, and that being yourself was the best thing of all. And so, the meadow was full of friendship, laughter, and the cheerful chirps of a very special little quail. The Pirate Treasure Map Adventure. One sunny morning, Lily found an old, crinkly treasure map tucked inside a bottle on the beach. Her colorful parrot, Pippin, flapped his wings excitedly and squawked, "Adventure!" The map was covered with winding paths, mysterious drawings, and a big red X marking the spot. Lily knew right away it was a pirate treasure map, just waiting for her to follow it and find the sparkling treasure hidden somewhere on the island. Lily and Pippin set off along the sandy path, following the squiggly lines on the map. Along the way, they waved to friendly pirates who smiled and gave them helpful hints. The pirates wore colorful hats and showed Lily how to read the clues. Pippin repeated the pirates' cheerful greetings, making everyone laugh. The island was full of palm trees, seashells, and secret little spots that made the adventure extra special. Suddenly, the map led Lily and Pippin to a shadowy cave hidden behind tall palm trees. The cave looked dark but exciting. Lily took a deep breath, holding the map tightly, and stepped inside. Pippin fluttered close, his feathers glowing softly in the dim light. Inside, shimmering stars twinkled on the walls, guiding Lily's way. At the end of the cave, there was a big wooden chest with a shiny lock. Lily knew the treasure was close. With a giggle of excitement, Lily opened the treasure chest. Inside, gold coins glittered like tiny suns, and sparkling jewels twinkled in all the colors of the rainbow. Pippin chirped happily, flapping his wings as shiny stars floated up from the chest, filling the cave with magic light. Lily felt proud and joyful. She had found the pirate treasure. Together, they danced and celebrated their wonderful adventure on the island. The little pine Siskin's Chirp. In a tall, green forest filled with whispering pine trees lived a little pine Siskin named Sunny. Sunny was very small, with bright yellow and green feathers that shimmered in the sunlight. But there was something special about Sunny. He had a tiny chirp that was softer than all the other birds' songs. Sunny wished he could sing loud and bright like his friends, so he practiced every day, hoping his chirp would grow stronger. One morning, Sunny met a wise old owl who was resting on a nearby branch. The owl smiled kindly and said, "Sunny, every chirp has its own magic. You just need to find yours." Sunny blinked his bright eyes and asked, "How do I find it?" The owl fluffed his feathers and replied, "Listen carefully to the forest and let your heart sing." Sunny closed his eyes and listened. He heard the buzzing bees, the rustling leaves, and the babbling brook. Then he felt a tickle of joy inside and chirped a little louder, a little clearer. Suddenly, a sparkling blue butterfly fluttered by and danced around Sunny, making him giggle. Nearby, a friendly red fox peeked out from behind a tree, smiling at Sunny's brightening song. With each chirp, Sunny's confidence grew. His tiny voice began to sparkle like morning sunshine through the pine branches. The other birds stopped to listen, and soon the whole forest was filled with Sunny's cheerful song. He had found his magic chirp, soft but full of happiness that made everyone smile. And from that day on, Sunny sang loud and bright, lighting up the forest with his special song. The Playful Penguin's Waddle. Penny the penguin loved to waddle all day long. She waddled over the soft snow and slid on the shiny ice. "Waddle, waddle, waddle," she sang happily. The cold wind tickled her feathers as she twirled and twirled. Everywhere Penny went, she made the snow sparkle with her playful steps. Sometimes she even made little snow penguin shapes with her feet. One day, Penny met Sammy the seal, who was sliding on his belly nearby. "Hello, Sammy. Want to play a sliding race?" Penny asked with a big smile. Sammy clapped his flippers and said, "Yes, let's see who slides the fastest." They slid and giggled, zooming down the icy hill, making funny swooshing sounds. Penny's waddle turned into a speedy slide, and Sammy's belly made splashes of sparkling snow. After the race, Penny and Sammy heard a soft hoot from above. It was Olivia the snowy owl. "Can I join your fun?" she asked with bright eyes. Penny nodded happily. "Of course. Let's play hide-and-seek among the snowy trees." Olivia flew up high, watching carefully, while Penny and Sammy waddled behind the snow-covered bushes. They laughed and counted, then jumped out, surprising each other with big smiles. Just when the sun started to dip low, Penny spotted a tiny polar bear cub named Poppy rolling in the snow. "Hello, Poppy. Want to join our game?" Penny asked. Poppy giggled and rolled over to join them. Together, they waddled, slid, and tumbled in the snow, making the cold day feel warm with friendship. Penny's playful Waddle had brought new friends and endless fun to her snowy world. Molly and the Magic Paintbrush. One sunny afternoon, Molly found a shiny paintbrush under a big oak tree in her garden. It wasn't just any paintbrush. It sparkled with colors that seemed to dance and shine. Curious and excited, Molly dipped the brush into her paints and began to draw a tiny butterfly on a piece of paper. To her surprise, the butterfly flapped its bright, colorful wings and fluttered right off the page. Molly giggled with delight as the magic paintbrush brought her picture to life. Molly's heart raced with excitement. She painted a playful puppy next. As soon as she finished, the puppy wagged its tail and bounced around her feet. Molly laughed and petted the soft, painted puppy, who licked her cheek happily. The magic paintbrush was full of surprises. Molly decided to explore her enchanted garden, painting more wonderful creatures that danced, played, and sang with her. Every stroke of the brush filled the garden with joy and color. As the sun began to set, Molly painted a friendly rainbow that stretched across the sky. The colors shimmered and sparkled, reflecting all the happiness she felt inside. She realized that with her magic paintbrush, she could create anything she dreamed of and share her joy with everyone. With a big smile, Molly promised to use her magic to bring kindness, color, and fun wherever she went. And from that day on, her enchanted garden was a place where imagination blossomed and magic was everywhere. The Happy Swamp Sparrow's Song. In the heart of a bright and buzzing swamp lived Sunny, the happiest little sparrow you ever did see. Every morning, Sunny would perch on her favorite twig and sing a sweet, cheerful song that made the whole swamp wake up with a smile. Frogs would hop, turtles would smile, and dragonflies would dance in the sunlight. Sunny's song was as bright as the morning sun, and everyone loved to hear it. One day, when Sunny opened her beak to sing, no sound came out. The swamp was quiet, and all the creatures looked surprised. Sunny felt puzzled and a little sad. Where did my song go? She wondered. She fluttered from branch to branch, trying to find her melody, but the swamp stayed still and silent. The frogs stopped hopping, and even the dragonflies paused their dance. Sunny decided to ask her friends for help. She hopped down to the pond where Tilly the turtle was resting. "Tilly, do you know where my happy song went?" Sunny asked. Tilly smiled gently and said, "Sometimes, songs hide when we forget to look around. Maybe your song is in the smiles of your friends or the sparkle of the water." Sunny looked all around, and slowly, the sparkle of the water and the gentle smiles of her friends made her heart feel warm again. Feeling hopeful, Sunny took a deep breath and sang softly. At first, the song was small and quiet, but then it grew brighter and stronger, filled with all the joy she felt from her friends and the sparkling swamp. The frogs started hopping again, the dragonflies flitted happily in the air, and even Tilly hummed along. Sunny's song was back, happier than ever, because it was filled with the love and magic of the whole swamp. From that day on, Sunny sang every morning, not just from her heart, but from the hearts of all her friends in the swamp. Her song was a happy reminder that sometimes, when we feel quiet inside, the love and smiles around us can bring back our greatest songs. And so, the swamp stayed lively and bright, all thanks to the happy swamp sparrow's song. Benny and the Lost Treasure Map. One sunny morning, Benny the bunny was hopping around the garden when he spotted something shiny in the bushes. It was an old, crinkled treasure map. His eyes grew wide with excitement. "Wow, a real treasure map," Benny whispered. He quickly called his friends Squeaky the squirrel, Ollie the owl, and Frodo the frog to come and see. Together, they decided to follow the map and find the lost treasure hidden somewhere in the garden. The map showed a dotted path leading past the big oak tree, across the sparkling stream, and finally to a big X near the colorful flower patch. Benny and his friends hopped, fluttered, and scrambled along the path, solving little clues along the way. When they reached the oak tree, they found a clue carved into the bark that said, "Look where the butterflies dance." Everyone smiled and looked around for fluttering wings. Next, near the sparkling stream, Frodo leaped happily as he spotted colorful fish swimming beneath the water. Ollie spotted a shiny pebble with a tiny arrow pointing towards the flower patch. "We're getting close," Benny cheered. They all hurried along, feeling the warm sun and smelling the sweet flowers. Suddenly, Benny's paw brushed something hard under a big red flower. It was the treasure chest. With a little effort, Benny and his friends opened the wooden chest. Inside, they found sparkling jewels, shiny coins, and a note that said, "The greatest treasure is friendship and fun adventures." Everyone laughed happily, knowing they had found something even better than gold. They danced around the garden, ready for their next exciting journey together, with the treasure map safely tucked away for another day. The Snack Time Squad. Every afternoon, the Snack Time Squad gathers in the Sunny Park to share their favorite treats. Benny the bunny hops in with his crunchy carrot sticks, while Tilly the turtle slowly arrives carrying her sweet apple slices. Max the monkey swings down from a tree, munching on a ripe banana. Sally the squirrel scampers over with a special acorn cookie, and Coco the cat strolls in, her pink bow bouncing as she carries a bowl of juicy berries. Together, they spread out the red and white checkered picnic blanket and prepare for their tasty adventure. Just as everyone is about to dig in, Sally's eyes widen. The acorn cookie is missing. "Oh no," she exclaims. The Snack Time Squad looks around carefully. Benny twitches his nose, Tilly peers slowly, Max scratches his head, and Coco's green eyes sparkle with curiosity. They decide to become detectives and find the missing cookie. With playful giggles and determined smiles, they begin their search, checking under leaves, behind trees, and even inside a hollow log. Adventure fills the air as they work together. Suddenly, Max spots a little crumb trail leading toward a big oak tree. "Look!" he shouts, pointing excitedly. The squad follows the tiny crumbs, giggling and tiptoeing. When they reach the tree, they find a cheeky chipmunk nibbling on the missing cookie. Instead of being upset, the friends laugh and invite the chipmunk to join their snack time. Sharing the cookie makes the treat even sweeter. Together, the Snack Time squad enjoys their picnic, feeling happy and proud of their teamwork and kindness. The Happy Western Tanager's Song. In the heart of a bright, green forest lived Tango, the happiest Western tanager you ever did see. With his feathers glowing golden yellow and his wings a splash of fiery orange, Tango loved to sing the sweetest songs that made all the animals smile. Every morning, as the sun peeked through the leaves, Tango's cheerful melodies echoed through the trees, filling the forest with joy and laughter. One sunny day, Bella the bunny hopped into the clearing. She was very shy and felt a little lonely because she hadn't found any friends yet. When she heard Tango's happy song, her ears perked up, and she twitched her nose with curiosity. Slowly, she hopped closer, drawn by the music that sounded like sunshine wrapped in song. Tango noticed Bella and chirped a friendly hello, inviting her to join the fun. With a bright smile, Tango began to sing a new tune, one that was soft and sweet just for Bella. The melody danced through the air, swirling around the trees and bouncing off the sparkling stream. Slowly, Bella's shyness melted away and she found herself giggling. One by one, other animals joined in, clapping paws, flapping wings, and stamping hooves. The forest became a happy, singing circle of friends, all thanks to Tango's magical song. From that day on, whenever anyone felt lonely or sad, they would come to listen to Tango's happy song. Bella always remembered how music and friendship helped her feel brave and loved. And so, the forest stayed bright and cheerful, with Tango's joyful tunes weaving happiness through every leaf and smile. The Happy Western Tanager's song was a reminder that sharing joy could light up even the shyest heart. The Wizard's Foolproof Spellbook. Max was a little boy who loved magic more than anything. One sunny morning, he found an old, dusty book in the wizard's workshop. The cover shimmered with sparkling stars and golden letters that said, "The Wizard's Foolproof Spellbook." Max opened it carefully, and with a big smile, he whispered, "This book will make my spells perfect every time." Just then, Whiskers, his fluffy gray cat, jumped onto the table and purred, "Let's see if it really works." Max read the first spell aloud, "Make the flowers dance." He waved his little wand, but instead of flowers dancing, colorful bubbles popped all around the room. Max giggled, and Whiskers twirled in the bubbles, making funny faces. "Oops, maybe the spellbook is a bit silly," Max laughed, but he didn't give up. He flipped the pages and found another spell that promised to make anything fly. Max said the flying spell carefully, and suddenly his hat lifted off his head and started to float. But the hat didn't fly gently. It zipped and zoomed around the room like a little rocket. Max and Whiskers laughed and chased the hat everywhere. "This spellbook may be foolproof, but it's full of surprises," Max cheered. He realized magic was not about being perfect, but about having fun and trying again. At the end of the day, Max closed the spellbook and hugged Whiskers tight. "The Wizard's Foolproof Spellbook might not make magic perfect," he said, "but it makes magic full of fun." Whiskers purred happily. Together, they dreamed of all the silly and wonderful spells they would try tomorrow. Because with magic and friends, every day is an adventure. The Little Baker's Big Treat. In a little village, there was a tiny bakery where Mia, the little baker, loved to mix and stir. One sunny morning, Mia decided she wanted to bake the biggest, yummiest treat ever. She put on her flowery apron, grabbed her wooden spoon, and began to gather colorful ingredients. Flour flew like soft clouds, and sugar sparkled like magic dust. Mia danced around the kitchen, humming a happy tune as she mixed bright berries, creamy milk, and golden honey into a big, bubbling bowl. As Mia poured the batter into a giant cake pan, something wonderful happened. The cake began to grow and grow, stretching up and up until it reached the ceiling. Mia's eyes sparkled with surprise and delight. She decorated it with rainbow icing, twinkling sprinkles, and shiny cherries on top. The cake was so big and beautiful that it made the whole bakery smell like a dream. Mia knew this was her big treat for all her friends in the village. Mia invited all her friends to the bakery, the playful puppy, the curious cat, and the wise old owl. Everyone gathered around the giant cake, their eyes wide with joy and their noses twitching at the sweet smell. Mia cut a big slice and shared it with all her friends. Everyone laughed, sang, and danced as they tasted the yummy treat. That day, Mia's big cake wasn't just a dessert. It was a magical moment of friendship and happiness that filled the little village with smiles. The Airplane Adventure of Alex and Ava. One sunny morning, Alex and Ava climbed into their bright little airplane, ready for an adventure in the sky. As soon as the airplane took off, fluffy clouds began to change shape. Alex pointed excitedly as a cloud turned into a hopping bunny with big, soft ears. Ava laughed, waving to the cloud bunny. The sky was filled with magic, and the airplane soared higher, gliding through the cottony clouds that seemed to come alive just for them. As they flew further, a giant cloud whale appeared beneath the airplane, blowing sparkling mist into the air. Alex and Ava gasped in wonder as the cloud whale gently swam through the sky, splashing shimmering droplets that tickled their faces. Ava giggled and pretended to splash back, while Alex imagined riding on the whale's back. The airplane danced with the breeze, carrying them closer to new sky friends and endless fun. Suddenly, a playful dragon made of clouds swooped down beside the airplane, blowing soft puffs of mist that smelled like sweet cotton candy. Alex and Ava clapped their hands with delight as the dragon twirled and danced in the air, its fluffy tail sparkling like stars. They waved goodbye as the airplane began to descend, their hearts full of joy from the magical friends they met in the sky. Back home, they dreamed of their next airplane adventure,